are coming up on the 7% grade section of I-77 as we cross into the Virginia line here. We're a couple miles away, but I wanted to give a bit of a preface. We're at 7.2 mpg so far. We've been slowly but surely climbing into the mountains, so fuel economy's been bad. Don't mind my tire light, by the way. And we're going to kind of see what this thing will do up to 7% grade. This is the last rest stop before the big hill. It's also the Virginia Welcome Center for those who've been this way before. And we're going to get into the steep grade. We're going to hit 3 lanes here in a minute. We're going to do some experimenting with the Godzilla. So this is a 7.3 Godzilla V8, 355 rear gear. I always get messed up with my Chevy and Ford rear gear ratios. But we're going to hold about 70 and just see where we wind up RPM wise. This is a 5,500 or so pound load, so pretty light for what this truck is, to be honest. We're going to see how it tows it. I'm going to not use cruise control just so that we don't get hung up in too high of a gear. I will say sometimes in tow haul mode especially, this truck likes to just kind of hang out at a higher RPM than it needs to. I think that's just to kind of keep the transmission from hunting for gears, which is probably smart, but we can kind of con this thing into figuring out exactly what gear we can pull this hill in. So we're going to do just that. Probably started this video a little bit early, but well, no, we're hitting it now. So this is 7% as of right now. This 3-lane area here is where it turns. You can see the beautiful view over there to the side. I'm actually hot rodding right now because I don't want to have to lose momentum and get stuck behind the truck. My dog is coughing in the background. All right, let me try to get in the middle lane safely here. Get right at 70. So it really wants to grab 7th. I'm very, very light on the throttle in 6th, but I think we're going to be stuck in 6th. Let's just see. Yeah, we're going to be holding 6th. Right at 70 or so. I can kind of fluctuate the throttle and give myself a little bit more or less speed. So I definitely have some room in 6th to speed up. Kind of mid-gear. Get out of his way. Ears are popping as we climb elevation here. You can see we were started off at about 1,100. I forgot to put that up, or 1,200 or so. We're just very quickly climbing elevations. This is a steep grade. This will take out a lot of trucks in the summertime. This always was a task for my Silverado. But I'm going to pop cruise control on just for the heck of it. I know I said I wasn't going to. And then we are going to do a full throttle pull once I kind of get a nice clearing here, just to kind of see what she'll do. Foot to the floor, and we'll destroy my fuel economy further, but that's okay because I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for you, the viewer. So let's get around this curve. We're just holding 3,100 RPM or so, 32, whatever that is. No problem whatsoever. Now let's give her a full throttle pull here. 1 second. Okay, to the boards. Downshifted. We're going to easily climb. I'm going to get it to 80. Just want to see what it does under full throttle. God, she's got so much power. All right, let's back off. I don't want to tow any faster than that. Come on, give me some gears, Ford. Thank you, thank you. Give me one more. Takes a while in tow haul mode for it to upshift, which is normally okay because you're not foot to the floor for no reason. Okay, so we're back at 70. Let me do this. Let me give her manual 6th. I want to put it in 7th now. We're locked in 7th, and I'm foot to the floor, locked in 7th. Let's just see what speed we can hold. So I'm to the boards in 7th gear, and if we have to, we'll downshift. We're dropping down to 65, 64. So we can't, 63, so we're losing speed in 7th. I'm going to go to the boards in 6th. I just bumped her down to 6th. I still got it to the boards. Let's see if we can climb back up. It looks like we can. So in 6th gear, again, 355 ratio. You can do the math, and if you have a different gear ratio, you could probably do this in 7th. We are climbing right back up to 70. but surely, which is pretty awesome. And then once I get to 70, I'm going to pop this back into 7th. So now we're in 7th, and I just want to see if we can then hold it now. We're not going to be able to. So that 7% grade, you really just need about 50% throttle in 6th. But this is a 5,500 pound trailer, so I'm sure you could hold this with a heavier trailer in 6th or 5th, no problem, even so. So that's pretty awesome. But keeping it to the boards, we're going to get back up to 70. I'm going to go ahead and actually set the cruise real quick. I'm going to go over to transmission temp just so we can see. I'm sure it'll be hot, but it's just how these run, 219. That's very normal for these trucks. They like to run between 208 and 220, just the way that it is, 230 even. The new fluids are different than what we're used to as car guys. And we're just sitting on cruise at 70 miles an hour, basically, 69, 70. So 6th gear is your gear, 30-some hundred RPM, but that's pretty good for towing any trailer, in my opinion, going up a 7% grade. This is a very comfortable place to be, and you can essentially tow any reasonable hill. You can see how much elevation we've gained. Very, very comfortably and safely. You're not gonna be overdoing the truck with this load, at these RPMs. So normally I wouldn't accelerate up a hill to 80 while towing. I don't recommend that. I did that for you guys. I wanted you to kind of see the performance. But what I'll also do, because I'm a nice guy, as we run out of hill here, I'm gonna actually let it slow down to like 60 and give you a pull, just so that you can kind of understand what that would be like if you got slowed up because of traffic. Let's let her drop right down to the boards. Let it shift. Oh, I'm stuck at 6, shit. There we go. 60. I'll just go to 70 this time. You can see this thing's got big power though. Okay. So let it down, let it upshift. I'm also flashing a check engine light apparently, so that's cute. Okay, so apparently we've heard our truck. So for some reason, it decided not to upshift when it was flashing the check engine light. Clearly, it was having some misfires, apparently. When I put the camera down, what I was doing was putting it back in manual mode and manually upshifting, which at that point, it let me get it back into 6th or 7th. I knew I hadn't blown the motor or anything because it was running fine. It was just a weird tuning error from what I could tell. Okay, so that was awfully strange. I actually had a flashing check engine light for a second there. I think what happened was from holding such high RPMs under full throttle, very part throttle, I was probably getting some misfires. Very interesting. I unfortunately can't scan it because I don't have my scanner with me. But that was kind of weird. So let me break in here and explain that a little bit better. What I think actually happened was I was foot to the floor, creating a lot of, obviously, big explosions in the engine, right? Creating a lot of cylinder heat, a lot of pressure, a lot of temperature. And although the truck's totally made for all that, you are still heating things up, right? So I get to the top of the hill, and all of a sudden, because tow haul mode holds gears for so long, you wind up in a situation where you're at 10% throttle at 5,000 RPM in like 3rd gear. And all of a sudden, the truck is almost kind of confused because it's gone from tons of airflow and tons of heat to having very, very little airflow and a really hot, cylinder. And I just wonder if the spark is getting blown out or if the, fuel's pre-igniting because the cylinder is so hot and there's very little fuel in there. I just think it's a little bit of a tuning error in the way that the truck was made. And it's something interesting that I think Ford, if you're seeing this, you should look into. But I really don't think anything's wrong with the engine. I mean, I towed all the way home. It was completely fine. At the end of the day, this trailer is a third of what the truck's tow capacity is. Sure. I mean, you saw in the video, I was definitely hot rodding it up the hill a little bit, but this is nothing that the truck's not made for. These things are made to run with a, loaded gooseneck, foot to the floor for freaking hours on end practically because, gas trucks are obviously known with the heavier loads to really need a lot of throttle input. So I'm not worried about having damaged the truck or anything. It was just an interesting result, and I'm glad we caught it on camera. With that, let me know in the comments what you think of its towing performance, what you think of that little check engine light blip at the end. And as always, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.